The sun rises over Otterburn and another day on exercise Cypher Spear begins.
I think before you do fire, you get like a bit nervous, don't you? Because you're like, you start flapping a bit and you're like, whoa, I'm scared of what's going on.
As soon as number one says that word, you just got to get it away, but you can like sort of like feel it, can't you?
Yeah.
It's pretty powerful, yeah.
If it's your first time, especially if you're on the layer seat, you don't know what's coming, because obviously when you do like pull that trigger down, you've got to be bouncing off the seat and stuff. So when it's your first time, you do like
the recoil sort of throws you off
a bit scared. But once you've done it after a while, you're all right with it. Every time it goes off now, I still go like that, and like every time. So it's just what you do.
I think you've got to be a certain kind of individual to work on the gun line, because there's times when it's a bit grim and the weather's not too nice and etc. You're a bit muddy, you're a bit dirty, but when you get sort of big methods and you get some good rates down and you're getting some good rounds out the end, it's quite good, it's quite rewarding.
You don't get many girls here, so we're quite cliquey, aren't we?
Yeah.
But it's good, the lads are good as well.
Why do you think there aren't many girls?
It's hard.
It is graft, like
it is hard.
like weight-wise as well. Yeah, it's just hard graft because there's a lot of like heavy weight you've got to carry and stuff like
heavy.
that. So
it gets really heavy, but if the lads do it, then we do it as well.
We've had major setbacks because of the pandemic and that, and then getting back into it is just a quick shakeout, and then it just comes back to you naturally.
Yeah, riding a bike, firing
Riding
again.
a bike, yeah.
Exactly the same.
Yeah.
Safety!
To enable training to restart in the midst of a pandemic, the regiment have invented the gun bubble.
There's 6 guns and roughly there's about 6 to 7 gun buddies on that one, and we've lived together for the past 2 weeks. We see other people, but we stay together in our bubble. Yeah. We don't go to different guns, just our one gun.
Right.
talk about that one.
So this is a HE round, 16.5 kilograms, and we're on the bastion. We'll put 2 on each shoulder. It just gets quite strenuous throughout the exercise. As the days goes on, it does get a bit harder, but you just got to get through it really. We've got 20 on platform today. Yesterday we had 47 on platform, so it just depends on the missions really.
This is the charge, so it'll comes in different bags to say what charge it is. So obviously that's
charge
red,
free.
blue and
red,
white.
and blue.
This shows you that it's charge free. So basically when you're putting it in there, the number one will check, so you'll go check charge free.
Charge free.
So he's double checking that that's the one you're putting into the gun.
Same with this, the number one, you'll also check shells, so they'll always check just to make sure. And then you've got the back.
Yeah.
And you literally just that red bit, you
pop off.
chop it off and it comes straight off.
But you've got to keep that on for now before you
you've got to keep it on.
Whack in.
The regiment is split across Otterburn training area. The firepower lie to the south, using woodblock for cover. But this is indirect fire. The gunners don't have sight of their target. On the high ground further north are their eyes, the forward observers sitting at the observation post. They can see the target, the impact area, and send instructions back to the gunners.
Hello, Golf Delta 10, this is Golf Delta 55. A fire mission battery, a 3-gun smoke, over.
They pinpoint their target and they'll then send down a grid. And because we know where they are and what they're seeing, we can then translate their speak into gun speak. So we process all of the data that the FSTs give us. And then what we do here is we turn that into a bearing, a fuse, and an elevation for the guns on the gun line. And what that means is basically what direction they're pointing in, how high they're pointing, and how long the projectile is going to travel for. And then once we're all laid on and set, they will send down the order to fire, and the CP, which is like the control element on the gun line, will then order the guns to fire.
A grid, 880, a 0, a 45, a direction, a 6400, over.
Everyone has to know their job. Yeah. So if you do your job wrong, that could sort of like sacrifice full fire mission, because if you say you're slower, you could get like cease load and then you can't get them rounds down what the FST's been asking for. Sort of like you need to be as fast as you can. You can't be afraid to get dirty,
wet and things like that.
It's not somewhere where you're very warm.
Yeah, it's a graft.
Fire out. Fire.
Fire!
Watching it and then being in the trails, it's just different. You can watch as many videos as possible, but it's different when you're in there doing it for real.
So you can't replicate that sort of...
No, I can't, it's just... I don't...
Adrenaline.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially when you get like a lot of rounds, so say 20 rounds, fire for effect, it's just... shouting here and there, holding them up, getting them down. It's good. It's exciting.
Exercise Cypher Spear has been a great exercise for us and has allowed us to test not only the gun end and the OPs at the front, but also all those enabling parts of the regiment that help us do the business. So I'm talking about the people bringing the ammunition forward, the people dealing with the salvage, the medics, the administrators, the chefs cooking in the field. It's a real team effort, and we've made sure that all of those aspects of the regiment and the regimental team have been tested on Cypher Spear.
Number 6, ready down, safety.
Next year, the unit head to Estonia, ready to play their part in Operation Kubrit. The army may have just announced a new cyber force and space command, but there's still the need for guns, once pulled by horses, lined up with a grid reference and fired from soggy terrain. The enemy comes in many forms. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel.